El uso del verbo to be en pasado es increíblemente sencillo en inglés. Se expresa con was o were. Was si el sujeto es I, he, she o it. Y were si el sujeto es you, singular o plural, we o they. La habilidad de expresar to be en pasado amplia nuestros poderes de comunicación tremendamente. En las primeras lecciones aprendimos a decir I am busy. Ahora podemos decir I was busy. It is easy. It was easy. They are hungry. They were hungry. Se expresa existencia en forma impersonal con I, there is y there are en presente, y en pasado, había y hubo, con there was y there were. There is a mistake. There was a mistake. There are a lot of people. There were a lot of people. Recuerda que people es plural en inglés. En inglés usamos el tiempo continuo en pasado para hablar de una acción que estaba en progreso. I am working. I was working. We are eating. We were eating. They are sleeping. They were sleeping. Ahora podemos preguntar acerca del pasado con what y where. What are you doing? What were you doing? Where are you? Where were you? Tomemos un momento para hablar sobre la pronunciación de was y were. La doble U se pronuncia como una U, pero con un poco más de tensión en los labios. La A en was no es una A española, sino el sonido A, que llamamos la U corta. La S se pronuncia como la Z de inglés, Z. Se llama la S sonora, was. Algunos encuentran la pronunciación de were un poco difícil. La ER en were suena igual que en las palabras her, work y shirt. La E es muda. Es importante no pronunciar were como where. Y aunque se escribe la contracción de we are casi igual, la pronunciación es distinta. We're. Were. Where. We're. Las contracciones de las negaciones was not y were not son wasn't y weren't. I wasn't hungry. She wasn't home. He wasn't sleeping. We weren't tired. They weren't doing anything. Recuerda que no se distingue entre ser y estar en inglés. Was y were representan ambos ser y estar. Tampoco tenemos dos tipos de pasado en inglés. Los pretéritos perfectos e imperfectos se expresan con was y were. El vocabulario. Test. Meeting. Yesterday. Sick. Las oraciones. I was sick yesterday. You were a good student. He was my math teacher. We were thirsty. They were at work. I wasn't at the meeting yesterday. You weren't careful. She wasn't afraid. We weren't happy. They weren't at the party. Was I right? Were you sick? Was the test hard? Were the kids at school? Were they at the meeting yesterday? There was a meeting at the office. There were a lot of people at the meeting. There wasn't anything to eat. I was doing my homework. He wasn't working. Was Nicole driving? Were you eating? Ejercicios de comprensión. I was late for my appointment. I was late for my appointment. I was late for my appointment. Were you sick? Were you sick? Were you sick? What were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing? I was studying. I was studying. I was studying. There wasn't any bread for breakfast. There wasn't any bread for breakfast. There wasn't any bread for breakfast. Yesterday was my day off. Yesterday was my day off. Yesterday was my day off. Next, lesson 45.